So today we have a lot of topics that we'll be delving into, but let me introduce our guest this morning. Representing the NDC this morning is Honorable Timothy Atabwade Awonterem. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Rosie.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
You're looking nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're looking very
too.
nice. Thank you so much. And representing the NPP is Solomon Asante. Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning, Rosalind.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you're also doing well.
I'm
Good morning
doing well.
to Honorable Timothy.
Good morning, my brother.
you know, Solomon, after your super delegate conference, you haven't been here, have you?
No.
You haven't.
Is that so?
Yes. You couldn't make it last week. Somebody else represented the NPP.
It isn't my original slot.
Right. But let me quickly ask you, we know the camp that you belong to, that's Honorable Alan Kojo-Tremate's camp. Were you surprised at the outcome of, the Super Delegates Conference?
I wasn't surprised. Anyway, good morning to our cherished viewers. I wasn't surprised because I remember last time we had a discussion before the election. I told you the mission is to get 5 people. And by the end of the day, in fact, I was being asked which are the 5 that I'm looking at. I don't know. I won't mention anything, but I know by the end of the day, my candidate, Alan Tremati, will part.
You're right.
And it came to pass. That's all.
You're happy?
That's my expectation. 5 people will be picked by the delegate. Truly, they picked 5. And I told you, I know for sure one candidate, my candidate, Alan, will be there. And truly, he is there. That is all. Mission accomplished.
Fantastic.
The next is to be continued.
The next is on the 4th of November.
Sure.
And we can't wait to see what will happen.
Come on.
So what, you're ready for the victory dance?
Oh, come on. Perhaps we'll invite you.
All right, let's start with what the newspapers have for us, and then we delve into our topics for today, but we want to get very interactive. Teacher trainees are crying out because TTAC keeps going on, strike because of various reasons. Now, teacher trainees are saying that they have to write NTC exams. The passing mark is currently 70%. They actually are pleading with the government to drop it to a 50%. They say that this is because they don't have a course outline, neither do they have textbooks for this. Aside that, they feel that the strike is also not helping them to be able to pass this exam. So we'll talk about this and more. Now, if you know any teacher out there or a teacher trainee out there who has to write this exam, to be a part of this conversation, send your messages to us. What do you think about what the leadership of the teacher trainees are saying? Do you want the 50% mark? Or you think the 70% is good enough? Is the government doing enough for teacher trainees out there who have to write this NTC exams? Is it necessary at all? Send your messages to us. We'll also talk about the leaked audio that was a sabotage to remove IGP at post so that somebody else becomes the IGP. Now, we know that investigations are ongoing. There's actually a new tape that has popped up that they will have their conversation in camera about the new leaked tape. We'll talk about all of that. Let's hear your voices this morning. I'll start with the Finder newspaper, and it reads, free Ghana card registration records low turnout. Now that it's free, it's recorded low turnout. I think I paid about 250 or 220 cedis for my Ghana card because I wanted, they actually took it at our area vicinity, said they were going to expedite it. At the end of the day, we even had to go to the office because the machine broke down. So I don't know, for those who are going for free, please go and take it. It's free, go and take it. Dr. Afarijan urges NDC to return to IPAC. Ghana to receive first technology transfer for oral cholera vaccine production. Screening of 1,470 kits reveal high refractive error eye problems. Dr. Obenyako says so. Minority NDC waits court decision on Friday on planned protest route. And 4,169 pregnant women die in 5 years due to complications from pregnancy or childbirth. I ask this question, is this due to negligence as well? Does negligence play a role? Because this is completely, some of them, not all of them, but most of them are very avoidable, highly avoidable. And so you ask yourself, is it due to negligence or what is the cause of this? The Daily Graphic newspaper is the next newspaper that I'm doing. Ghana committed to climate leadership, says Jinapo. Graphic Milcom management confirmed. Now, this is quite worrying. Gosto Kronti Hene found dead in forest. Wow.
Gosu.
Yes, Gosu Kontihene. Found there. I'm doing the daily graphic newspaper. Men's Gold customers will get justice, AG assures at Cambridge Forum. And the new secret tape on IGP's removal pops up. Committee to conduct in-camera hearing. Let me do the Daily Guide newspaper. Daily Guide newspaper. AG bemoans corruption in public procurement process. Fake doctor arrested at Kath. IGP Konkonsa tape. Superintendent Asari spills beans. Minority suspends BOG protest. And I'll talk. Enough is enough. Hajia for real says so. I don't know what she's going to talk about, but let's see. Me and I can't wait to hear what she has to say though. So is she going to get some people busted, or what is she going to talk about? Maybe her arrest or more. The New Crusading Guide is our final newspaper for this morning. And it reads, AG fights for Men's Gold customers, assures them of justice. Ignore the hollow propaganda. Takwa MPP party office still intact. The distinguished, true and real legal luminary, that is His Lordship Professor Samuel Kofi Date Bar. All right, so I think we'll get to, if you buy this paper, you get to know more about him. And there's one story here. New Ghana petitions IGP and Akufo-Addo over Kennedy Japan. Okay. Well, there's petition over Kennedy Japan. We'll get to the bottom of it to know what's going on. But like I said earlier, our biggest topic this morning has to do with the teacher trainees decrying about, CTAG strikes that is affecting their passing of the NTC exams. They feel that this frequent strikes, because this is going to be the 6th week if it continues. The frequent strikes is going to affect them badly. They're also saying that the 70% pass mark is a little too high. They wish it would be dropped for reasons, not because they can't pass, but because they don't have a course outline, neither do they have even access to textbooks for this NTC exams. I'll start this conversation with you, Honorable Timothy Atabwade Awantere.
Which conversation? The teacher training one.
Yeah.
Let me say good morning to our viewers out there. Good morning to yourself and to my brother and to your production team. Yes, teacher trainees are complaining. Strikes generally are not good for the development of any country across the world. It reduces production. It creates a sense of insecurity, be they in terms of teaching, in terms of even other public services and so on. That is why governments of the day must ensure that what would inure to the benefit of the hard-working public officers is done for the good of the people of this country and for humanity as a whole. In that case, teachers are complaining. Teachers are one of the biggest public sector workers in this country. And obviously, government must listen to its petitions. Government must listen to the complaints of the teachers. We are all striving to improve teaching and learning in our various schools. We agree that the future of this country rests with the youth. And you cannot send the youth into the future with half-baked academic credentials. They must be sent out well-trained with skills to meet the modern challenges of development and so on. So if teachers are the implementers of those policies to ensure that you conduct learning from the nursery to wherever that our strength and our academic prowess concern us, then we must listen to their complaint. We can't do without inputs into their complaint. We cannot also do without meeting the necessary training and skills for the teachers. While we are teaching, new syllabi will come out. There will be new techniques of training, even especially in this time of IT and various modalities for teaching and ensuring that you give the best to our future leaders out there. We must listen to their complaint. It is not coming from just a few or from a handful of them. No matter how brilliant you are, no matter who you are, if I want to write the exams I wrote in Form 5 years down the line, I must go through again. I might have gotten once those days, but today, if I'm right, I may even get 9.
Right.
Because you may go through, and the challenges that public sector workers go through in this economic quagmire, the fact that they would have to meet their obligations as parents, vis-a-vis meeting their needs as parents to provide for. They are also parents too. It's a Herculean task for which government, when you look at the past government is taking home, when you look at the further government appointees, and this case is not just MPP, but even government appointees in general, what do they do? And yet they are appointed to various sectors of this economy, even including GES. We remember the current appointment of the current Director General, how it sparked a lot of confusion and so on.
Some even threatened to go on strike because of that.
You understand? They feel that the progression in professionalism should be on meritocracy. It should not be on family issues and what do you call it?
But again, yes, before people are put into positions, they merit it. They could be family, but did they merit the position?
No, it is not about they could be family. No one has talked about qualification of picking a family member to work. Has that been the debate? It has never been the debate. Who is that family member that has been given a post that is not qualified? The issue is that even the Constitution talks about what? Talks about fair distribution of resources, talks about equitable distribution of positions and resources. If you have a government that has the insatiable appetite to put its own people in very good positions, to the detriment of those who have worked in those institutions for the close to 30, 40 years, and they have the same, and I'll cite an example.
Okay.
For instance, I'll be coming to Egypt because of what you have sent me. Look, the senior minister, Ya Osafo, picked his son, a very young guy, and made him deputy director of Senate. NCA, deputy director. There have been people who have worked there over the years who have the same qualifications. Osafo told the people of this country that government cannot employ. Government cannot employ because the public sector is choked. And you are employing yourself. I'm not even employing to middle level, to Director General. Can you imagine what?
What if he qualifies?
So those who are there unqualified.
But he also qualifies.
He also qualifies.
Yeah.
With what experience working with Senate?
Why do you say he doesn't qualify?
And was your own sister Joyce Bauer not qualified as 15 or 20 years of practicing as a lawyer that was appointed by John Dramani Mahama as a deputy minister? What were the names that you people call him? Friends and family. That was the only close family relation. So was Joyce Bauer not qualified as 15 years of marine law practicing? He was called family, and the president came out. But don't let us digress.
Yes, let's
the issue about the teachers' complaint, like I told you, with time and with heavy work, sometimes the mark that you expected to pass for in-service trainings and so on is outrageously high. Why? Because, look, once you start teaching and doing other, your brains are not like when you are just fresh from school. You can score back. And I don't even understand why this type of exam cannot be incorporated in your final exams that you are coming out as a fresh graduate, so that you can write them. And when you come, you know, the University of Cape Coast, that is famous for training of teachers. When you go there, I think you are allowed to do, is it a 1 year or so diploma to make you a professional teacher? When you come, GES is also equally supposed to organize in-service training for you as you go by to meet the modern challenges of new techniques of teaching and so on. If the teachers who are saying that you should reduce it by virtue of the fact that they do not even have the curriculum, they do not even have the textbooks, it's just like they go about fishing to get knowledge, to write an exam that will be thrown to them. Then if you face such an exam, you are told that you are not good enough. I don't think that is the issue.
Right.
Meet them with the necessary requirement for them to get the insight. Sometimes you may even take them through what we call training before the exam is written. Sometimes while you are even training them before the exam is written, they do what we call class and group test. And it becomes part of the final exam. Maybe the class test and so on can be 40%, and then the exam can be 50 or 60 and other 10. When you combine, you strike out the average and know that the fellow has passed 50%. But to make it 70 means that I don't think the people are already qualified, they are graduates and so on. And we must listen to their complaints so that we can have a peaceful education. The education sector, yes, it's murky.
Right. Let me bring Solomon in this conversation. Solomon, your take on it.
Thank you very much, Rosalind. Yes, of course.
And by the way, I like teaching, and I'm a teacher.
Oh, okay.
I teach very well.
Oh, that's nice.
I teach you, pass your, you get your 70%.
Yes, Solomon, please.
Thank you very much. Yes, I admit that the strike by SITAG is having an effect on the trainees. Because surely you agree with me that if you have a timetable or a period by the end of which you are supposed to write an exam and the timetable is being interrupted or there are challenges within, it will not give you the whole to sort of submit to the exams that you are going to write. So I think they have a point in there by saying the strike by SITAG is sort of serving as a challenge for them. They feel like something should be done about it. But the aspect where they said the mark should be lowered from 70
to 50.
I think it should be looked at again. You remember some time ago we were here looking at the quality of performance in their exams, where Manjo Airline had some of the scripts. You do remember?
Yeah, I do remember.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. You see? And then I was saying that you have people in a class. The best ones will be going, I'm going to do law, I'm going to do engineering, I'm going to do this. Then you see the rest who's okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do a teacher training. So you realize that the level of students who, a chunk of them, I would say who get into or end up into it are those who couldn't make it to the higher levels of profession that others have made to. So I said that that can also account to the poor performance in there, because it was something, when you looked at the script, the way even the handwriting itself is one thing, to the grammar written on the paper, you ask yourself, is this person a trained person who is exiting to enter into the field to teach our children? I hope you get me right. So when they start, some of them start entertaining fears concerning the exams, my mind gets back to some of these issues. I say, wow.
No, but you see, what they are saying is that there's no actual course outline. If the government can give them a course outline, because even if you want to be a lawyer, there's a course outline for you. Sure. If you want to do business, there's a course outline for you. Sure. So they want to know that, okay, this is a course outline. So study that. And then also they don't have access to textbooks, because everybody needs, learning materials to be able to write exams. So if you don't have access to textbooks and you are just thrown into an exam room, probably you went to study something else. You go there and it's something else.
I want to believe the exams that they are going to write is going to be based on what they were taught. Unless they tell me the examination is quite different from what they were taught in school. Are these not people who have, or teachers, the trainees who are out of the training school, who are ready for the job market? So if you are,
let's take a listen to what they said actually, so that you understand. There's a video, so let's take a listen to what they said in the video, and then we'll all get to the bottom of it.
6 weeks now, teachers at the colleges of education have abandoned lecture halls to push the government to redeem its promise on implementing its negotiated conditions of service. The indefinite strike is bringing academic activities on college campuses to their knees as many students idle. The cumulative effects of the endless strike by the teacher union are forcing shifts in academic timelines, impeding continuity of learning. At its 27th annual general meeting, President of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Nana Kwame Jefta, noted the strike could culminate in the dismissal of non-performing students as recorded in previous years.
Student that came to College of Education in the year 2018. In the subsequent academic year, most of them were dismissed because of failure. And it's on record that when they gained admission, that time CETAC was also on strike. It took CETAC for about 4 or 5 weeks before they could report back to campus. And for all those weeks, students didn't do anything. They were just on campus. They didn't have the chance to meet their tutors to learn. And that had impact on most of them, leading to the failure in the examination that they wrote. And we couldn't spare them. They were dismissed because of poor performance, which we could not only base on the fact that they are just not performing, but we have real factors that might have contributed to that. And we are seeing the same thing in this current dispensation, because currently we are entering the 6th week that CETAC has been on strike. They've been out of lecture halls, they've been out of campus, nothing at all is going on.
Their concerns are compounded by the upgrade of the pass mark for the upcoming licensure examinations from 50% to 70%. The association maintains that a balanced minimum pass rate would provide fair opportunity for all students, while the demand for preparatory logistics.
We don't mean to say that 70% is too high for us to pass, because we've been writing exams in our College of Education and we've been passing. We've written about 50 to 60 different coursework papers that we've passed. So why can't we sit and pass for license exams? We believe that how the structure and the organization for academic content in the courses that we study in the College of Education that lead us to come and write examination and we pass. It's not as we see in the NTC. We don't have course outline for NTC examination that you're going to write. We don't have textbooks that we read from. And these are all logistics that need to be in place before we could probably raise the bar to the 70% we are talking about.
Meanwhile, Registrar of the Ghana National Teaching Council, Christian Adepoku, says a crunch meeting with stakeholders is in the offing to address the concerns.
The National Teaching Council's board has held on to its position that the upcoming licensure examination should be marked at 70% pass. And the leadership of TAG has insisted on 50% pass. And lo and behold, I've received a letter from the president, a copy to me, but a letter to the Minister for Education asking for an intervention in the matter. As I speak, last week, I had a meeting with the minister and he has indicated that he will want to meet the leadership of TAG.
The annual General Assembly was held under the theme Shaping the Future of Teacher Training and Education, Prioritizing Infrastructural Development. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku. For 6 weeks now.
And that is what was said. Solomon, yes?
See, exactly as I said, the strike thing is eating up their...
So is it fair for them to ask for 50%, not a 70% then?
We are in a country where we have our freedom to air our views. So what is the fairness here? They have every right to. And if you see, listen to the response given by the last speaker, you realize there are some mitigation measures being taken. According to him, he was copied. A letter that was written to the minister from the presidency that they should look into it. That is to sort of meet the demands of the students. So I think once it has gone that direction, that development has taken place, then there's something better to be heard of, maybe in the near future.
In the near future.
Yes, please.
Right.
Yes.
Let's talk about CETAG. You want to say, please
yes,
continue.
Yes,
Sorry.
Yes. You see, Honorable Timothy talked about the incorporation of their end of what semester or whatever exams to these entrances, or do it once. If you look at other professional courses, that is the norm. I mean, I'm talking about what we are seeing now is the norm.
Yeah.
You have to finish your end of semester, whatever. Then if it is an entrance exams or a licensure exams like the medical doctors, that's how they do it. So the incorporation will sort of distinct them from the practices of other professions. But this is a profession that we all claim to be a noble profession. We want to sort of elevate. Then it should be elevated well to the standards of their peers. Let me put it that way. So I think incorporating them wouldn't do much of helping. But we should let the status quo remain and let the mitigation measures that is coming from the president through the education ministry to the TAG. Let's see how it will come to inure to their benefit. It's a challenging process, but I believe with sort of these measures coming in and there, by the end of the day, we shall have, because if you listen to their 27th this thing that he held, the theme was shaping, and shaping, a lot of things go into it. It was 70. We are shaping it, so a request has been made, and a response has come that, let's meet them. So still, that's a shaping process. So right. I believe it.
Now, the thing is that CETA keeps going on a strike. Yes, you want to say something?
Yes, you see, when you look at doctors, what do? When you come out, you write your exams, you are qualified, you go for housemanship and so on, then you are qualified. When you even study abroad, when you can, you write that exam to show that you are qualified before you start practicing. Lawyers do the same, and other professionals. So what I'm talking about is akin to what other professions equally do. Just to stop this, so that it will not be like unnecessary impediment is putting on the way of people who have chosen teaching as a profession to teach. So it's an issue in some categories. You can even do training for them, let them be skillful in modern techniques of teaching and so on and so forth. More courses are done, in-service training is done, and they even become better off than those who might not have taken such courses. You understand? Even though they might be senior in the systems and so on. It's an issue that we must look at it from all angles.
But Rosalind, I think Honorable Timothy is trying to confuse us.
How?
Yes. He said, in one breath, he says we should incorporate this into that, so that at least when you finish and you are done, you are done. Then he was making the comparison with the practices in the health and then the law field. You see, and he said it emphatically that those systems, even if you go and do your course outside, when you have to write that very thing. And that is the very thing that these people too are also doing.
Are they not teaching already? They're already in the service.
No.
They are trainees.
They are trainees.
Fine.
And so before they enter into the job market,
it must be taken along.
Just like, as you said, just like how the other...
It's not like they are already
there's nothing like incorporation.
Yeah.
There's nothing like incorporation.
Yeah. So
they should do what they are doing, but just let's try shaping it as they just said. We are all helping.
Let's look at the reasons for the reduction from 70% to 50%. They raised 3 reasons. The first one has to do with the CETA strike. What can government do to prevent these things from happening? Because if we want to fix the system, it's not about dropping the marking scheme. It's about improving upon the system. CETA strikes. CETA is saying that we want the government to meet our requests. The government has still not met the request. Again, they made mention of, course outline. How can government give them a course outline so we stick to the same 70% because we want a better education quality? And then we look at the textbooks again. How do we provide textbooks for these teacher trainees so that we can stick to the 70% mark and not drop to 50? Let me start with you.
You see, we can still look. It's dynamic. There's nothing that is cast in concrete. We do laws for ourselves so that we can guide our behavior, our cultural patterns, and so on. That includes our training in our various professions to become who we think we want to be. So if the CETA and including the organizers of the course and the training process feel, look, you can change anything at any time. Once that with a neo, the important thing is to come out with teachers who are well trained and well qualified to teach. My brother talked about the fact that when the licensure exam came out, there were scripts and even the languages and whatnot. Yes, there could be those challenges. Then if those challenges are by themselves a solution, because you've identified their weaknesses in even spellings and so on, how do we retool this? How do we retrain them? How probably that fellow was teaching maybe in P1. How do we bring him to nursery and so on?
They are now even about to...
But even with regards to
the licensure challenges that
even with regards to what Solomon spoke about, it's for those who did a reset.
Yes.
They had already failed about twice and they did a reset.
Because even the same people, just like that. When we were in school, some people will get just 1 9, one pass, that's 7. And they'll go to training colleges. You remember the Form 5 system? And they'll go to training colleges. Yet those of us who thought we had passed earlier, those people with the 7 went or 1 6 went, came out and they are not even holding their masters. Some have even done PhD. and so on. So for me, academic intelligence is not just a one-stop issue. You could be brilliant today, and tomorrow you lose it all.
Right.
You could also be a late starter, and you pick it somewhere along the line, and you go ahead. Also remember that even people got 9.9, they couldn't even pass during our time, and they were employed as private teachers, and they taught well, and the nursery teachers could read better than those who even went to training colleges and got certificates in training as teachers. Look at private schools. Sometimes look at the quality of their teachers. They are not like the public schools, but they teach well, and the students make good grades. So if you don't, it's a multifaceted issue. It is not just one-stop issue. It must incorporate every aspect of the teacher development to ensure that the fellow doesn't come out half-baked. You come out very well prepared, both psychologically and so on. If you come out and then you fail your exams, psychologically you might not even be prepared to teach the students. You are teaching and looking back, because sometimes, look, because of this technology, people can mistakenly even send to the students that the teacher who is teaching does not even pass his exams. It weakens you. It makes you look somehow unintelligent.
As we're talking about, Solomon, I know you make a comment about it, but also GES has brought out a new schedule. Form 1 students are reopening back to school on 25th of September. Initially, it had to be 16th of September. Teachers were crying foul with a duration of break. They said they didn't have enough time to rest. Parents were crying foul. They didn't have enough time to, recoup monies to pay school fees. And GES has finally come out to say that students are not going back to school on 16th of September as it was initially told, but this time round, they're going back on the 25th of September. So they have a week of rest. Is this week good enough, Solomon?
Originally,
it's for SS.
It's 2 weeks. Originally, it was 2 weeks. And then I think another, that's from 16th to 25th, that is 9 more days have been added. I think it's better than not, because they requested for some breathing space. And that call has been heeded. So I would say it is better than not. Our educational system, even when you come to the basic level, this very year they are going to have 4 different terms. Unlike as it used to be, every year you have 3 terms to form the academic year. This very year they are having 4 different terms. Why is it so? Because of the COVID, the education calendar changed a bit, because the first term usually used to be from September to December. That's the first term. And the second term will pick up from January to the Easter break. And then the third term will go down. Then September, they start again for the first. But because of the COVID, it forced the calendar to start the academic year start from January. Then it ends in December. So the academic year takes the whole straight jacket of the year. But this time around, they are trying to shift it gradually so as to return to the usual practice. And for that reason, the first term was made instead of the usual 13 or 14 weeks. The first term was somewhere around, I think, 11 weeks or so. The second term too came to, I think, 10 or 11. They are in their third term. Most of them will vacate, I think, the next 2 weeks or so, and that one.
This actually seems like it's for junior high students. Actually, let me read it again. According to the statement, all kindergarten, primary, and junior high schools would operate a trimester academic calendar, with the first term commencing January 10th, 2023 to March 24, 2023, and vacation on March 25th, 2023 to April 2nd, 2023. The second term starts from April 3rd, 2023 to June 15, 2023, and breaks from June 16, 2023 to June 26, 2023. And the third term will start from June 27th, 2023 to September 14, 2023. The statement said the 2023 transitional academic calendar for double track senior high schools for Form 3s would commence from January 2023 to April 2020. Okay. So the second term again for senior high. So yes, okay. So it's for junior highs. So September 25th.
So I'm in line.
Yeah.
All right. So that is what we are facing now. It's just because of the distortion that came into the system due to the COVID thing. But gradually, parents, we are going to bear it. We are because it's supposed to be 3 terms, but we are going to pay for 4 terms. But by the end of the day, we are reverting to our old practice, and then I think we shall be on. It's something that's set in, no fault of anybody. It came and it's gone. We need to adjust so that we return back to
go back to
that is what we are facing, and everybody is going to pay for it, no matter how dearly. I mean, the payment is going to differ from one home to the other, but definitely we are, and even the children. How the children are supposed to, they go to school 11 weeks, 12 weeks, and then they break for just a week, and then they enter the second term. And that sort of the children, we are also taking them through some sort of. It
was quite difficult.
Difficult for them, just as the teachers are complaining, but they also have to come and teach. They break for just a week, 2 weeks, then they have to go to the classroom, and then. Bear you in mind, a term that is supposed to be 15 weeks, 14 weeks has been narrowed to 10, 11. So it means they have to pour everything that they are meant to do within 15 weeks or 14 weeks into that 10 or 11 weeks. So they have to put in more effort.
Work.
And then when they break just for a while, a short period, 1 week, 2 weeks, they are supposed to return, come and pour in more. You see, everybody is paying. For that, yes. So
anyway,
we should endure it and then pray that we enter into our normal system, which starts from September. Ending of September, as you mentioned, 20. That's 9 days.
I've been really trying to get if it's the statements coming in doesn't even say it's GHS or secondary school. So what it's saying is GES has rescheduled the reopening dates for Form 1 students to Monday, September 5th, 2023. I've been trying to see if it's for Form 1 students as in GHS or senior high school. I'll still try and get it, but all it's saying is Form 1 students. So I'm struggling to, but we'll get you the date if it's for Form 1 students or for all GHS students, because what we are getting from the statement keeps on saying Form 1, Form 1, Form 1. But we know there's nothing like Form 1 for GHS. GHS doesn't go to school without the primaries. They all go together. Their academic calendars are together. So, but it's when it comes to the secondary school that actually the Form 1s can go before the Form 2s and Form 3. So I'm thinking that it could be the secondary schools, but we'll still get to the bottom of it. Honorable, your take on it, please.
Yeah, I think it's the secondary school. This is the GES letter.
Yeah.
GS letter, obviously well signed. To all regional director, rescheduling of
let me read it out, please. So rescheduling of reopening dates for Form 1 students from 18 September to 25th September. Management of GES wishes to inform all heads of senior high schools and senior high technical schools that the reopening dates for Form 1 students has been rescheduled to 25th September. So it's for the senior high schools. Yeah. So yes, that's why I was like, okay, it could be because junior highs you don't go to school without the primaries. So it is for the senior high school. So for every senior high school parent, for the Form 1s, you're going to school on the 25th of September. Honorable, your take, please.
So you have to pay me for the information that I provided. Yes, you see, let's be honest with ourselves. It's not just the reopening day that has been rescheduled. It has been so. Since we started with the free HSS, it has been so. Teachers and managers of the institution are even confused. Sometimes they do not even know. They will tell you they're waiting for the GES to give a direction. Lack of textbooks, lack of teaching material, the classes are choked, a whole lot of issues. Sometimes this postponement is not just because of issues of teachers want to rest. It is to enable the GES to reschedule themselves because materials that are needed and what is supposed to be provided for the school to be open have not been done.
But the teachers actually did complain too.
Yes, I know what I'm saying. The teachers complain doesn't mean you should change it from 16th to 25th. That's not the issue. Teachers would always complain. Teachers do a lot. Let's acknowledge that. First of all, the education sector, it has been run down. Look, I tell you this things. We have our kids in school. We have our kids in school. My son just reported for school. I had to pay 300 Ghana for feeding. They've brought me now a long list for projects that we have to pay and so on. When my child was going for admission, when I went there with my child, I paid 300, 200 for a bed. And I keep saying one thing. If we had allowed...
For a term?
For a bed.
A bed
to sleep.
A term.
Yeah, for the whole period, you know, when you for them to make beds.
Be paying it every
it's not for them to make beds. And the headmaster collected, look, parents, if we don't pay for the beds, for the carpenter to make beds, the children are going to sleep on the floor. Would we allow our children to sleep on the floor? These are challenges that we well documented, we are aware. But we are playing the hypocrisy with the future of our children. Children go to school, they cannot eat. They are serving them. Sometimes they give them the dry garri in their bowl to go and eat without even sugar. Parent teachers, they send these things to us all the time.
Is that what happens in your son's school?
Yes, please. It's not a matter. It's not, you see, because of this issue, with policies, you can find policies. They are not fine-tuned because you don't allow critique of the policy. No policy in the world that you begin to implement it till the day the policy dies without not reviewing, without critiquing. Because of policies, because of political decision, when we say review, we say we'll cancel. Whoever said we'll cancel free education? It's choked with problems. People are sleeping on the floor. Teachers find it difficult to teach. I am there, I know what I'm talking about. As I'm talking to you this morning, there's some training that they are doing for teachers to catch up. The curriculum and other things is jammed up. It's a whole problem. If we don't accept as a government and that this is what we are going and that this policy needs to be reviewed, we go on the tangent that you gag everybody that is talking about free education and you say that is your strength. How can free education be your strength when parents who are supposed, you want to call them to vote for you because they are not paying fee, but they are paying more now. How can children go to school and stay for 25 days, come to the house and stay 3 months? And the amount of money we pay for the children to attend holidays classes is huge, my brother. My child is in Tamale Secondary. Tamale holiday, he stays with the mother there. We pay for classes. We know how much we pay.
How much you pay?
Apart from that, apart from the payment, every week I have to give the child 100 Ghana to go to school, just lorry fare, lunch and other things haven't come. Can you imagine those who are in Accra here, how much they are paying for the sophisticated schools and so on and so forth? These are real. The politicians, the MPP people, their children too are there, they're also paying, and they'll come out and tell us these things. My child is one of the boys, good boys school in Kumasi. I met MPs, I met ministers whose children are there, and yet they'll come out and tell, and yet they're also paying the 200 that I pay. They pay for the 300 for the food. They all pay, and they'll come and everything is fine. And I've been telling them, ask your former deputy minister for what do you call it, for attorney general.
So you're saying that it's not free feeding? It is.
Look, the feeding is so poor. It's not consistent. Sometimes they open the school, food suppliers have failed to supply the food, because they own them so much. So we are asked to support. Go to all parent-teacher associations. Go to their book. Ask if you have friends. Ask them. So don't let us pretend that it's an NDC. It's not an NDC matter. It is that the policy is a complete choked with problem, and we must start. As we are talking, teachers are when you start reading, you see how they'll bring their issues. Teachers are the real implementers of the policy. Every policy that is done, the implementers know what must be done so that you have a successful policy. Let's admit that it has problems so that we can collectively resolve the matter. But if you keep saying, look, when the first time the free HSS came, we thought that everybody would benefit, but they didn't even start from them. Because at that time, my daughter was in St. Rose's. She never benefited. You understand? I'm coming.
I want to take some comments.
Yes,
you
just a jiffy.
Yeah.
Now, at the time when we complained, Solomon, you know what your people told us? The NDC is against the policy because at the end of the term, there will be 400,000 students that will come out. And those 200,000 who are benefiting in the school are going to vote for MPP. How do you talk like that? That my child who was there, do you think if you come out, you vote for MPP? So you don't talk as if the students are standing like an island and parents are standing there. The students also have a choice. They go, look, the students themselves complain. Not we who complain. The students complain what they are going through. And when you ask them, you go to any class, tell your comrade and put the teachers and ask the students what is going on.
Okay.
They will tell you.
All right. Let me get some messages here. Is it an issue if it is the IGP who sent his boys to record the coup to remove him? Did he put the words in their mouth? The IGP has the right to protect himself, and you and me, Patrick Accra. All right. So we'll definitely talk about the IGP's leaked tape brouhaha. Right. Good morning to you. The directive given by the Speaker to set up a committee to probe into the alleged leak tape is in the right direction and order. That is IGP masterminded secret recording. His autocracy and what have you, but I think is mandated on the fact-finding committee to truly find out what those characters claim to be facts against the character in question are truly so, and the way forward to prevent future occupancy of similar acts or seen, because these are security issues. From Aaron Bebako Kokomisa. All right. Thank you, Aaron. Brenda Ipidonko, good morning, Prime Morning. I'm quite worried about the GES indecisiveness because our children just came home and we're not even aware of their resuming date. Yet they have sent this statement making it look like parents already had knowledge of when school was reopening. Oh, wow. So parents didn't even know the date school was reopening. Probably they were told that it would be communicated to them. And our GES comes out and says, okay, you are reopening on 25th. So, but GES knew that it was going to be on the 16th or the 18th, one of those days.
Rosalind, that's what I was telling you. And you are going to see millions of them because we all have relations. Sometimes you are even asked to contribute. We should not run away. And it is hypocritical and dangerous and precarious on the part of this government, my sister, to know the problem and to sweep it under the carpet. You know it. Research have done, they've sent people, parents, all MP people, their children are there.
There's a message coming in. It's coming for you. Let me read this one. This one says...
Let me come. Okay. Dr. The MPA, Mustafa Hamid. The daughter was also in St. Rose's with my daughter was seen. Is Mustafa Hamid not aware that he was paying something? Why do we do that to ourselves?
Brenda says, what Honorable is saying about the feeding issue in the schools is absolutely true.
It's true. It's not me. Every parent who's been asked. I wanted to show you a letter, but I'll get to that. Mustafa Amin's daughter, I met him, I spoke to him. Honorable, he's now the lawyer for the AMA. Ayibonte. The daughter was my daughter's classmate. We meet there, and they know they are also paying. So what is the denial from? They know they are also paying. And they know. Look.
But when they pay, do they get quality food?
It is supplemented. In fact, they are not supposed to pay. That's not what we're told. And they were supposed to carry chop boxes to school. And that everything before. So we saw people creating music out of it and so. Fine. If that was your initial issue, then you came out and then you saw that the implementation you were going through. Look, the total amount, they were saying that free HS is costing us. Look, the total amount of money this government got, over 800 billion. What do you call it? The free HSS cost just 7 billion. Then even put to $10 billion Ghana cedis. Accept. When you accept, parents will even freely contribute. You keep telling the public is this. Look, the classrooms are uncompleted projects are there and so on. The shift system, you will see it is dotted all over in our communities. But when we keep denying and giving names to us and saying that NDC wants to cancel, who is cancelling what?
Well,
now there's a course to review the system, and if you are reviewing, what you do is that you eliminate the lacunas, the barriers, and bring in good issues. Look, this what do you call it? Look at headmasters; they can't talk. So you know what the headmasters have done, my brother. You know anytime there's a new admission, I'll call you to come and video. Now this is what they happen: the PTA would come and then impose and ask, and if parents will buy this, buy books and so on, making it look as if it is emanating from the PTA. So they use the PTA as a conduit to push their grievances and sit elsewhere. And the PTA guys say that, and we are the ones who did it. Why not the same people who said the PTA this has been cancelled? PTA what? We are paying for projects.
Let me hear from parents out there. If you're a parent out there and you're going through this, and let's get to hear your voice this morning. Do you have your ward in the free SHS system? What are you going through with regards to your ward in school? What's your ward telling you about the experience in school? Are they being fed well? Do you have to pay for bed? Do you have to pay for food? Talk to us this morning. Of course, we know that you want to say much. much, but probably you feel like you don't have the platform, sending your message to us on our WhatsApp number, and we'll definitely read it on air. Honorable is saying a lot.
Rosie, look
he
at
is
this
experiencing it because his children are in the school. But for those of you home who actually are confirming with what Honorable is saying, let's hear from you. If you also feel that your child is in a free SHS and you're enjoying it, let's hear from you. Probably in the school that your child is in, you don't have to pay for bed, you don't have to pay for feeding, you're good to go, no PTA dues. You're okay. Let's hear from you this morning. So send your messages to us.
My name is the list. My name. These are parents that say we haven't paid. I'll show you my list.
You haven't paid PTA.
Look, I haven't seen.
How much is the PTA?
I've seen my child's name.
I've seen your name.
I won't tell my
Yeah, your child's name is very long.
So when we say these things, even they brought a voice note explaining. The voices, they look at the voice falling up. I don't need to play it. You understand? Because they will go and attack the school and attack the
child.
Not even the child, can't attack my child. But they will demote the headmasters, punish them for nothing. They've even sent a voice note. And the voice note is telling us that there's no feeding and we have to pay.
Because there's no food.
There's no food.
Wow.
You understand? You do this since when we are talking, then you turn around and tell. Is GES themselves not aware? Are they not aware? They are aware.
So GES is aware.
They are aware. Are the children not there? What I tell you, my sister?
Anyway, let's hear your voice this morning. Maybe should we change the topic or should we move on? Because I know now that we are talking about this, more people are going to send in their messages to us with regards to this particular topic. So, do you have anything to say about it as well?
Of course, I do have. I was trying to let him show me the one he said there is no food, they should pay. So he's trying to track it.
Note.
No, it's a voice note.
That one is a voice note.
Yes.
That's the secretary to the PTA that sent it.
And he can't actually.
Are you saying PTA still? Because I thought they say it's parents association or something. Is that not it?
Yeah.
But do we still put in the teachers? Because what I know, I'm talking as a parent who is also having my boy in school.
Beautiful.
I hope you understand me.
So not parents association, not parents and teachers.
That is it. And as he's saying, when they get in fresh, they will just call the parents together. And since we are from different backgrounds, different homes coming to meet the first day, it is the teachers or administrators of the school who are going to sit in to make sure we do that exercise to elect who is going to be the chairman of the PA, the executives. Then from there, they leave us to do. In fact, at a point in time, I was part of a house committee where we are looking at the welfare of the children in the house. Sometimes we just pay in visits to see, this net, okay. Then we come and discuss, okay, then let's go and fix the net. We do it. Parents, yes, we
do you have to pay 300 feeding for your child?
No, I have not done that. My boy is writing his final, in fact, he's part of those who are writing the awasi now.
Okay. What about the 500 cedis bed? No. 200 cedis bed?
That one, I think, is a problem that will differ from school to school. Because according to this, in the school, they said there are no beds. And so the teachers were saying that they should contribute to get them a capital to fix some beds. I hope you understand me. I remember in St. Peter's, where my boy is, in the year that he went, the number that got the admission, they cut off at the point where the others will not get admission to boarding house. They will be admitted as day students, so that they go and search for hostel or something. So maybe in their case, they said, okay, we have space, but we don't have beds. So let's do this so that we can get beds. Okay. And that will be a one-time thing, because subsequent students for the next year, Form 1s will not, because there's already a bed. Unless perhaps teachers want to do their own thing. Yes, I'll say this because I know how it runs. He said when this free SHS was not in the system, when school reopens, that's why we say, yes, headmasters, their cocoa season, that's sort of, but you know what goes on there. I hope you understand me. We can't shy away from it. Now, I'm coming on.
New admissions.
That's what I'm saying, new admissions. I'm coming. That's what I'm saying. But now, they will tell you, you have come, we need this.
The cocoa season is even worse now.
Yes, because look, and we should ask ourselves.
The computer placement,
I'm coming. We should ask ourselves, who is doing this? We are doing this to our own selves. At a point in time, you were there, you go as heads of assistant schools, and then you go and pick, and then you get your number of students, then you come, and then some will come, Brian envelopes, and you take them, you put them in. Now it gets to the point they say free SHS, no, computer. So that thing, that channel that you were using to amass whatever, that is not coming. I hope you understand me. So you have to find, no, I'm coming.
Honorable, let him land.
So you have to find ways and means to sort of make that money at that very season when the season gets to and when it gets to that season. So, okay, whenever the freshers come, I remember we're bringing catalysts. Look at about 1,002 students picked in St. Peter's in 2020. Everybody is supposed to bring a scrubbing brush, a bucket, a mopping stick, and then the bucket, catalyst. So that's year alone, 1,000 padlocks, 3 per child, 3 padlocks. So times 3, 1,200. Yes, from one, 3 padlocks. Not for the actual buses and trunks, no. For the school, I don't know whatever they are going to lock with, but everybody is bringing 3. So 3 times 1,200 students. The school is receiving 3,600. Do you know what? I took him, I think, a Sunday, and I spoke to him somewhere within the week, and then I saw that because when you come, they have grouped themselves into houses, so the various houses, and then you put your things, they check, they mark you have brought this, you have brought it. Then so by the time you realize you have so many of the items there displayed, then we left parents. Then I called within the week, then I was so when we left, how did they? Which room did you get to pack all? So no. Some of the teachers when they were going, some will carry 4, some will carry 3. Yes, St. Peter's. Just this exams that they are writing, right? Wasi. They met with parents, and then what is it? Those who are writing the practicals that they'll be doing, the pipette, this, and so they have to pay 100 cedis because the things that will come may not be sufficient. And so every child is paying 100 cedis. I deliberately decided, okay, I will not talk on the platform.
Times 1,000.
100 cedis. Times 1,200.
Wow.
Yes, and you know what? As at 2 or 3 days ago when I checked the list, I think about close to 200 parents have paid that money. By then I had not paid. That was a Saturday. I was writing an exam Saturday. When I came from the exams, I saw a missed call. I called and it happens to be my boy. Daddy, we were supposed to have a practicals for us to show us how we'll be doing it when we go in for the physics practicals. But they told some of us our parents have not paid, so we will not be allowed. Oh yes, oh yes. So I'm asking you, is it the government who is doing this? Who is doing this? We are doing this to ourselves.
So
that is what I'm saying.
But the government is supposed to step in because we remember
you don't know where
there's a secondary school.
If I do not mention this, I'm coming. If I do not mention this, how you in authority exercising governmental powers, how would you know that this is what is going if I don't mention?
But Solomon, you see,
I hope you understand
Solomon.
And then you are here, you are saying that
Solomon, listen. Okay, let me.
Ministers.
We have a phone caller. Honorable, we have
do we all have to be
Honorable
ministers? And this is to have I'm not a minister. I'm not an MP. My boy is there. I'm telling you the truth what is happening.
Solomon,
is it not the same thing?
Honorable, can I answer my call, please?
So what?
Let me answer my call. Good morning, Francis. Hello, Francis. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, you too.
Fine, thank you. Talk to us.
Yes, I was listening to your program this morning, and then I realized that a lot of things have been happening in the school in the opposite side of the knowledge of the Ghana Education Service. I was a former SMC and PTA chairman at the Holy Family School, Mataiko in Accra. In that school, when I left the position, the one who came in changed system, and they were taking 4 CDs from every pupil, the students. I talked about it, and then everybody was against me, but they never allowed me as a former chairman to talk at the PTA level. So I petitioned the regional director of Ghana Education Service, one of the most hopeful officers I've ever met. And this man appealed my decision and stopped the 4 cities. As I speak with you, they use students to take money from the students.
Wow.
And then give it to them. And I was saying that if this thing will work, then if this will work perfectly, then the churches must also remove themselves, like the education has left themselves from the PTA, to make the parent association, so that it becomes an independent body. As I speak with you, the teachers will select some of the PTA executives, and then they will sit somewhere, write Madam, if what is going on is not checked and well, it will be another matter. Could you please, I was taken to the FFU at the police headquarters because I put it as my Facebook account, but I was not allowed to talk at the PA meeting. And you can send people to the Holy Family Catholic School at Pataheko and ask them that which PTA chairman has tried for the school for the past time that the school has been built. After my time of the 2.5 years, between 2015 in October to May 2018, I did what nobody did at that school. When I left there, the PA levy has been increased, and they have not done anything to buy some paint and paint some parts of the classrooms. You will be very sad to see a Catholic school like that. But this PA, I'm very happy with the Catholic Education Service to remove the teachers.
Right.
The Catholic priest must also be removed.
Thank you so much for calling. You at home can also join the conversation by sending your messages to us, and we'll definitely read it. It's all about what is happening in our secondary schools. The students are supposed to go to school on the 25th of September and not 18th as proposed earlier. Now, Honorable Awantrim is saying that, you know, sometimes the delay there's not because the teachers are crying foul, but because they ought to fix certain things in the schools before they allow the students in there. And he's telling us some of the rot that happens in these secondary schools. Now, if your child is in a secondary school and you're experiencing the same rot, let's hear from you this morning. Sending your messages to us, and definitely we will read it. Yes, Solomon, you want to say something?
Well, not that I wanted to say something. I was on the floor before the call came in. You know, he was talking about critique. Critique is good. Who told you critiquing is not good? Critique is meant to bring out the best from whatever you are doing. If you don't receive any critiquing, then it means you end up messing up with whatever you are doing.
And the point that you made earlier with regards to, you know, they charging the students certain amounts of money and all
yes.
that. You know, WAS, West Africa, yes.
Yeah.
When the woman did that, she's actually been asked to step down and she's been investigated. Can't same thing be done in secondary schools that they are doing something like that? If no one
reports, if no one talks about it, how would those in authority know that this is going on there? I believe this identity thing, the worst thing that you're talking about, it came out or somebody reported it and the authorities took it up. Is that not it?
Right.
If this one, I'm talking about St. Peter's, what is happening there? They are taking 100 cities for every child towards the practicals they are going to do in their WASI. So I ask myself, if the parents will not pay, does it mean government is not preparing for the practicals that they are going to do towards this WASI? You see, you don't understand it. And this is the last thing they will be taking from the children because apparently they are finished and they have completed school.
And
I think the next 2 weeks.
Your child from doing the practicals because you didn't pay the 100 cities?
Oh yes, the practicals that they were doing, you know, it's a bait. So they started, we are going to do it so that you know how to do it when you get in there. And then those who have not paid, when you get there, they look through it, no, your parents have not paid, so you can't be paid. Just to sort of, the children will call you and then you do the payment. That's what I'm saying. Those in authorities in the school, they know this is their time. The children are hesitating. What last thing are they taking from them? So let's sit down and we'll cook something. That is it. You can't tell me children are going to write WASI and then if they need certain things, equipment, tools, or whatever for practicals, government is not providing it. Is that what they want us to understand?
Right.
Look, when we're making a critique, I agree with some of the issues. When we're making a critique of this government, you know, the government was concentrated and putting in wasteful resources to ensure that the children just pass their exam for them to say those who were making the critique, they passed more than the other years. So the government had to go and spend 68 million Ghana cedis buying past questions from WAEC. No, it's a fact. 68 million Ghana cedis. You understand? Just to give it to students to pass the exam, then you come out and say, oh, they've done well. No, we're not, because our children are there. You see, if you are training future leaders and your aim is just to get them past the paperwork for you to shame your critique, you are not doing, because we are all here. I remember when Dr. Kumbo was the Minister for Health. You know, it's online. Dr. Kumbo said he was not going to pick protocol people. And he was telling the team, those people you pick protocol, people come and inject you and kill you because they were not properly trained. You understand? Lo and behold, my classmate is now a headmaster of one of the schools in the north. We are classmates. The child was admitted at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. You know what happened, my sister? The nurse just came in. This young lady, he came in, took the, we call it the, what do you call it?
Syringe.
The syringe, that they mix it, and immediately injected the boy. The boy shouted, urinated, and died instantly.
Wow.
You see, the boy shouted, urinated, and died instantly. So when we are talking about quality, is the MPP talking about quantity, or they are talking about quality, or both? More resources should be pushed into that to ensure there's nothing we can do about education except that the criticisms are to build the path we are all carving out for ourselves in this country. Teachers from our university tell us that the students will bring out there, they cannot even cope up and so on, which is true. Look, some of these GSS children, when they come, you are speaking just basic English to them, they'll be replying with chi. I've seen it. Look, it's so my sister.
All right, there's nothing wrong with speaking chi.
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah,
I didn't say that. You can even speak bullying, which I speak. You can speak Kasem, where you come from. You can speak your language. That's not the issue. The issue is that is that what we want them to do, to go out there? Are we bringing out quality students, or we are churning out quantity? And those quantities, you cannot put a trust on them. Workers, entrepreneurs like all of you, know what we send out there. You must do extra effort. And I'm happy you say your child is there. I was thinking that you haven't got a child who is up to GSS. I was thinking you are young. So it means that you also started early, a bad boy. So you understand. So these things, we must also ensure that the way we're trained, we should give the same training to our children and so on. So when we are making the criticism, make it for the good of the people of this country.
I have a problem with the way the
we don't have any problem.
I'm saying critiquing is good for nation building. Even within our homes and our individual places, critiquing is good.
Yes,
but do you know what? For you to critique, to say that at a point your child is giving raw gari without sugar.
Why would that come and tell lies?
Roslyn, is it a menu? Is Soakins a menu in the dining hall?
Child's school.
I'm coming. Let me ask this question.
Solomon.
That school should needs to be phased out. Is Soakins a menu?
Solomon.
Solomon. Even you know what? One of the best secondary schools in Kumasi. How much in the name? My brother's daughter is there. He's on PTA platform. Why?
I'm coming. I'm asking, is Soakins, Gary and sugar, is it a menu?
It's not a menu because the school had no food. Yet they open and the students must eat.
Solomon.
It's a fact.
You actually made mention of the fact that the school that your son is in, you didn't have to pay 300 cedis for feeding.
I didn't pay 300
Okay, but he said that he had to pay.
At a point, there was this general thing that there is delay in the supplies of their food products. At a point, I think, is it last year or this year? There was that general that came on, and we even discussed on radio.
What caused the delay?
That there was a delay in the supply of this. So at that period, he has to call, and that is when I have to send him some.
Don't go there.
Amount so that he will put it on himself.
So there was no delay. So there was no food.
Within that period,
if your child is in school and there is no food, what would your child rely on then?
That is why he called, and I have to.
So this is where people out there will complain.
I'm surprised.
After the program, I'll tell you something.
Soakins is a menu.
No, but he didn't say that. He said there were days that they had to give them gari because of no food.
It can be used with beans. It can be used with other ingredients. But they gave them not once, not twice.
Maybe it was the period that they were shutting.
Maybe it was the period that
exactly.
And look, if we are holding our education to be our priorities of priorities, not a cathedral that will be a priority of priorities.
So that
you'll be saying that Sambalas and Tobias won't stop
the cathedral is on hold. Let's talk about
and then you're talking about last question. When we were in school, this past
Sari has actually spilled some beans with regards to
didn't you buy pasta?
I didn't buy it.
Didn't you see your friends buy pasta? You don't know anything about close your eyes.
Gentlemen,
yes,
please. I need some decorum here, please. Thank you. Let me read my message. Honorable Esolo, Timothy, please.
we're buying passports.
Please.
Where? I didn't buy passport.
Let me-
Don't use your pocket money to buy.
Solo and Honorable, we will mute you. We will mute you.
The government printed.
Honorable.
Don't buy this Sambala to buy.
It's perfectly true that parents are paying for everything in SHS now, even home economics practicals this year. Parents paid 500 Ghana cedis for what? Hey!
Yes.
For YA practicals, which is the duty of the government. What?
If you don't accept it, these things will not be stopped.
All right.
Let's accept that the problem is there.
More messages coming in. Awudome Secondary School in the Volta region is worse. We pay for food, students struggling for food, and the weaker one is left without food. When you talk, the head is sack. NPP, God is watching you. Tell the NPP man to stop talking. Things are not going well for us in school. We can't buy anything for now. We are dying. God will never forgive them. My name is Sami from Zuarango, Bolga. Okay, Zuarango, Bolga East.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the type.
Good morning. What my brother is saying is true. It's not free education. Our words are going to my payment for the 3 Ghana cedis the school asked for to buy food in support of food government provided today. I think he was saying 300 Ghana cedis. Please, can make it clear to the media of the reopening of the SHS. The reopening for the Form 1s is 25th
September.
Because the Form 2 students are currently home and Form 1s will be going on. It's actually not 15th, it's on 25th of September. 25th. Okay, so 25th. Yeah, you don't know when the Form 2s are going, but the Form 1s are going on 25th. I think they'll communicate the Form 2s later. All right. Good morning. It's very, very true. I pay 250 Ghana cedis every term for my ward in senior high school too as supplementary feeding fee by the PTA. And I again have to buy a box of whiteboard markers and a rim of A4 paper every term. Joseph Akpaka from Sandema. Okay. Good morning, please. Nowadays, parents are suffering from building blocks for students and buying school table and chairs before your child will be admitted in even primary government schools. Oh, wow. Even the primary schools. Good morning, Rosalind Felly. My name is Denito Reigns, watching you live from Akimoda. Trust me, if they keep postponing and continue changing the academic calendar like that, they will change the election date as well. They should stop changing things for us and make things work out. Now we are suffering. All right, Denito, thank you so much for sending your message. Good morning, Joy Prime. I think it's hard time we close our eyes and speak the truth with regardless our political affiliations because the propaganda is too much. This free SHS policy is a serious harm in the next generation. Poor feeding, lack of textbooks, poor accommodation, few weeks on campus and longer days at home and many more. Trust me, with this free SHS, our next generation is doomed. Right. Okay. So we'll try and, I think the messages are a lot. Let me get one more and then we delve into our next topic. Quickly, good morning, Rosalind. Teachers in schools don't rely on what parents give to their kids. For instance, on Cutlass, the number could be many, but they use it to weed for the protection of the school, not the teachers. Currently, parents are paying for watchmen in schools. Question is, who are to provide cutlasses, brooms, etc. for the schools? Government or parents? If it's free, let's do the holy. But what's happening is a no from Kofi Abuaje. Rosalind, this government is not ready to accept critique. They are deceiving everyone. Question, why giving vacuum for others to talk? It's too bad to look at children of today decaying. Please, Rosalind, try and go out with your camera and see if all is well. The resources aren't going. Things are getting worse for Ghana. All right, thank you so much. We'll definitely step out, Kofi Abuaje, and see what is happening. Let's talk about the leaked tape. I know this has actually raised some hairs on your bodies this morning in your homes. Let's go into the IGP. Okay, another message. Let me read this one because the messages are a lot. I know this one, people are honorable wants us to go into the other conversation. But good morning, each and everyone. It's not true that the government is sharing costs with parents. My son is writing SHS exam and I have no idea. However, we do pay for extra classes. Honorable Joe Apia, Mamponting Kumasi. Okay, so Honorable Joe Apia is saying that it's not true that government is sharing costs with parents. He said his son is writing exams and he has no idea. Oh, right. So you did.
You keep saying that.
Okay.
You can even say they are making salad for them.
Rosalind,
the schools are different.
Thank you. That is one thing we should do. Look at what I said about
Sandema Technical Secondary is where I attended school.
Don't worry about where you attended school. Let's look at what is on the ground now. You see the problem that his son, the man who wrote, the Honorable Mamponte man who wrote, he said he hasn't paid anything, but they do pay for extra classes. And I'm saying, I don't pay for extra classes, but I paid. I mean, I showed you what I paid. Even a practical that they are going to write towards this BC.
But does your child do extra classes?
Oh yes.
In their schools?
Yes, I have made arrangement
short
for
of it all. Let's make the conditions.
But you don't pay the teacher for that?
I pay that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he doesn't.
He's not saying a personal one. This is a personal one that I'm doing for him.
Yes.
But this is saying he pays for it to be done. In the school, I mean, the school
Maybe
does
the school has organized
that is it.
one.
But the one that I'm talking about is
we have enough resources, and let's make it a condition for wherever that you are being educated from the east, from the west, from the north, from the south, from the North Pole to the South Pole. No matter where you are located as a child in this country, conditions should be made for you to study in a conducive atmosphere. Not because someone is in one school, he has to pay that. No, it should not vary. If government has said that we are taking the cost, then government should fully take the cost. Government should not come with a policy that is deceptive, and when you want to talk, they come at you like barking dogs. We are not going to allow that. Today, they are talking about review. Let's send our ideas to make it a better system for all of us. If someone is saying, a lot of the parents are paying. Look at someone sent you a message from Sandema. Look at the distance between here, the rural schools, and so on. The material. You remember?
Somebody said 500 cedis for 500 cedis per child.
My sister, do you remember that we used to do? Excuse me. There used to be a Wi-Fi for secondary school. Those who are in the story, they'll be able to go to the lab. And so, do you know they stopped? The Wi-Fi have stopped working for more than a year now. GES has not even brought anything. Why? Because GES has not been paying the service providers.
Let me bring Solomon in.
It is not working. You understand? So if they are look, let's talk about it. Let's talk and get a better education system for our kids. Finish.
Okay. Solomon, you don't want to say anything? Let's move on.
I just want to drop it. But all that I think to cap it is the problems differ from school to school. That is one we should get. What somebody is facing in Sandema, at least from the text message that came, is different from what somebody is facing in Mamponting. I was also talking about St. Peter's. In the eastern region, it is also different from what they are. So you could see that it is something that differs from school. Therefore, it should tell you it is not a problem that is cutting across, but everybody and its own unique or peculiar challenges that they are having there. And that should tell you that it is that variable that keeps changing because the school, its administrators, the school is administrated and what they want. The school is administrated and what they want. The school is, so that is what that's what I'm asking. If things will be well for us, it depends on our own selves. Because there are individuals there, there are humans there. And per the demands, per what they want, that they throw as a request to parents to help. That is why we have this varying situation. But as he said, we shouldn't have been so that it should have been uniform. The problem in Sandema should have been the same. And I'm saying, if that is the case, then I think this is the time under these free SHS that we are realizing this, because those in the northern regions were not paying. It was free education. Is that not it? In the southern sector, we were paying. Is that not it?
It's not.
Yes. So there was some disparity in there. So it wasn't uniform. But now I would say because of the free SHS, if you are not paying tuition fee in Sandema, somebody in Nungwa Secondary School is also not paying tuition.
Let me explain.
So it starts
so that people were not paying.
So you see, when it comes
Rosalind,
to the northern part not paying school fees, we all know that the late Kwame Nkrumah, or Sergeant Kwame Nkrumah, realized the gap in poverty.
Yes.
Where we know that the southern part had some resources that the northern part didn't have. We had so much. I'm just saying, we had so much in the southern part. The northern part was deprived, and that is why when we even talk about schools under trees, we talk more about the northern part because they are not as developed as the southern part. When in the south, look at the number of cars we have. When you go to the north, look at the number of how they go to work. It's either you are using a motor or and even a motor, somebody who wants a motor is a rich person.
It's a big man.
So we look at the poverty ratio, and you realize that, okay, looking at the poverty ratio, these are people who might not be able to afford what the people in the South can afford. Hence, we have to waive off certain things. That's why when people are building companies, there are some who have tax waivers. They weigh options in things like that, and that's why they had that advantage. And again, even the poverty gap hasn't still been bridged. It still hasn't been bridged.
Is it true or not that hitherto there were disparity in secondary school students? I mean, in terms of payment of fees, is it true or not? It is that in the North they weren't, as you are saying, you are giving the basis for which you are giving the basis.
It is so.
Thank you. And then he is saying we should have a system where everything will be uniform. I'm saying if it should be uniform, then now we have from the south and to the north. We have from the south to the north that nobody is paying me tuition fees and other things are off now. So it's now uniform.
All right. So I think we have some messages from Daniel Akpaleok. If we can project it, Daniel is one of our biggest fans, and he watches us every morning. He sends us messages every morning, so we need to have Daniel's messages read this morning. So Daniel, don't worry, we'll project your message and we'll read it soon. Okay, thank you so much for always sending your message. We don't take it lightly at all. We actually are super grateful that you do this every morning. So we'll read your message soon.
And you know, Rosalind, thank you for the explanation and the education. You know, MPP needs free education to understand what you explained to him this morning.
Honorable,
I'm coming. You did well, and you have taken the use. I attended school, Sanma Secondary from Form 1 to Form 2. I went to say from Navarre School. One would say we're not paying feeding, we are not paying boarding, and exam fees. You get it? That was what government was saying, but all other fees were paid. But it was better. And I think that policy was good. And I think that gradually, when they are talking about the review, it's going to revert to something like that. If we genuinely say parents should pay for the feeding, but all other things government will take, it's a review. We can also say government should take feeding and exam, all other expenditure. And parents, look, especially what is paying the parents, that after you've paid all this, they stay in the school for 25 days. The last time, they stayed in the school for 25 working days and came and spent 3 months at home. And when children are at home, we all know the expenditure you create, they have to give them extra food, they have to go to 4 classes, is huge.
Honorable, we have some messages. The gentleman in the casual wear, you're talking about Solomon, okay, shouldn't be covering NPP government and to look as if the educational system is the best so far. Mr. Solomon doesn't know what the Ghanaians are going through. Maybe it could be that IMF policy is in his pocket. Poor leadership. Oh, it's not in his pocket.
Then I'll enjoy.
All right, so more messages coming in. Good morning. This is serious, and the government should provide the solutions needed. My sister finished last year. If you don't send money every 2 weeks for food, she comes home very slim, and I'm always sad. How can one ladle full of rice be enough for SHS child? And MPP will not allow you to talk about it. 2024 is just around the corner. You people are playing with education, and we won't allow that. You see the way the NPP man is struggling there? Please allow for criticism, and the country will develop. He's not saying the Gary was, oh my goodness, it's off.
He's not saying that the Gary was on the menu.
He's not saying that the Gary was on the menu. This is coming from Victoria Kujo, Accra. Thank you so much, Victoria, for sending in your message. Our next message, I'm Raymond, watching you live from Dunkwa of Fing. In fact, the free SHS is giving parents a lot of problems. Okay, thank you so much, Raymond, for sending in your message. We need to read Daniel Akpaleok's message, please. So if we can have Daniel's message projected. Please give me Daniel Akpaleok's message. Daniel sends us messages every morning, and we want to read his message today as well. So, Daniel, please, if you can resend it to us, Daniel, please resend the message so that we can read it. We know you do it every morning. Maybe you're experiencing a few technical challenges. So, please resend it so that we can read it. Can we move on now to our next topic? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the leaked tape of some plot against the IGP. Some people actually went to see Bugri Nabu to speak to him to petition the president to remove the current IGP oust him from his office so that, somebody else could become the IGP. And in this, the nutshell of it was that if he still remains at post, it will affect the win of the NPP during the 2024 elections. Now, this tape was leaked. Buhari Abu has spoken, saying that he doesn't know how the tape was leaked. He says before he even got it to the president, the tape was out there. Now, the other policemen who actually visited Buhari Abu are saying that they feel betrayed. They feel that this man set them up to record them. They didn't go there with any evil intention. It was just to lobby. It was actually supposed to be a positive intention. Little did they know that this will happen. Another man that has spoken is Superintendent Asari. He spilled a lot of beans, and he's actually saying that the tape is not complete. There is more, but it looks like it's been doctored and edited. Honorable Timothy Awantirim, your take on it?
You see, I think we've all listened to the tape. It was a tape that was plotting to remove the IGP, a very hard-working IGP that everybody admire. And let me say on this platform that all the IGPs that have come past before Dampare, all were recruited to the police service as degree holders. This is the only IGP that was recruited as a constable that rose through the ranks to become an IGP. So he knows what affects those on the ground, those in the middle, and at the top echelons of police administration. He knows it very well, and he knows the work. Call enough, and that he's the only IGP that can give you regional briefings at any time you put him online. So he knows his work, he's well versed with it. You see, sometimes Cop Alex Mensah should be ashamed of himself. And I'm not surprised that Professor Enim, Dr. Bona has called for his psychiatric examination. If you look at him, this is someone who's embarking on a course of bitterness, rancor, campaign of calumny.
Oh, but he said he just wants to become the IGP.
I'm coming. So if you want to come, do you have to destroy me? We are all competing for something. I am giving to. Why would you attack me? Attack the one who appointed me. Why is he not attacking the president? Why is he attacking the three of us are in a competition? I have been chosen. Then I become your campaign of calumny, bitterness, rancor, and unforgiving spirits. This is someone who swore the Bible. Look at how Christians do to themselves. That is why people don't believe in Christianity and they believe in voodoo and other things. You swore the Bible before you committed to tell the truth and nothing else but the truth. To the Almighty God, you swear and you come and you are changing your statement, you are spewing lies and so on. Look, my brother, sometimes I know that he wanted the IGP, he didn't get. Apietu got, the other man, Bonue or something got, and this fellow got. Yet he's an MPP card bearer member. You understand? Why didn't the president give it to him? The president knew him. And the president appointed IGP in consultation with the Council of State, in consultation with other people. It could even be the chieftain's institution. It could be other prominent people that he appoints. What Alex Mensah, he has impugned lack of judgment on the part of the president, and he has impugned the president's competence to appoint a competent IGP by his statement. He has been lobbying since 2017. So what he has done, he has indicted the president. He has told the whole world that President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo is an incompetent president. He has given them at their time an incompetent IGP. That is what he has done. And that the statement should not be taken sadly. Here is someone who talked about by-elections and said that the what do you call it? The Asinov by-elections were a pointer to the fact that if this IGP remain in office, they cannot break the A's. It's a clear case, it's a clear treasonable case. So you want to use MPP recruited police people to derail the democratic processes of this country. It's a coup d'etat. It's a democratic coup d'etat he was planning. You remember I said it here, that coup d'etats and overthrow of government don't start like mushrooms that grow overnight. They start by sometimes lies, by bad mouthing, by half-truths and complaints, and then they gather momentum like a hurricane. hurricane and they blow in our face. That is how it starts. You have gone to Chief Bugri Nabo as a former NDC MPP regional chairman to state your partisan position and say you have been born into the MPP family. Look at what he said. Look at some of the exposés. That this current IGP is arresting MPP party people. When he was asked to cite an example, that the MPP, the third vice chairman, and what was the crime? He had committed a traffic offense. Is that traffic offense a crime against the motor regulations? Yes. Is it arrestable? It's arrestable. I see. Must crime be colored with your political glasses and so on? So if he has arrested, you know that was where Atacha came in and told him that he was sitting in his car. His driver was arrested. You remember Sika, or is it Sticker? Sticker was arrested too. So you see that he had no point. A lot of people have been arrested. I know people who are working with the Speaker of Parliament who have been arrested and so on. It means that the IGP is doing the best that he can do to bring policing to the
but
best
they claim
of the
that
people
the
of this
tape
country.
has been doctored a little bit. Let me read a few messages.
So you should give us the undoctored tape.
But do you think it's been doctored?
Yeah, I don't think. He's only running away. Look, this was a guy who was present. Let
me read the message so that because it's already projected on the screen. Okay, the free SHS policy is really bad. Students starve in the schools. They learn absolutely nothing. Yet no headmaster can cough. In fact, no headmaster can bring out the truth. We are finished in Ghana. Wow, they can't talk. They can't cough. I see. Good morning, host. Please, what Honorable is saying is very true. My daughter is in third year. We are asked as parents to pay for completion of a classroom block, which is mandatory. She and her friend called for food shortage and that we should bring her food prepared from home. They can't even get water to drink and to bath, which they have to cross the highway looking for water. This is a serious problem in our SHS. So the authorities should sit up. The government communicators should stop this type of defending this. I'm Fred Sogakope. Thank you so much, Fred, for sending your message. I'm a board member to an SHS. All that the NDC man is saying is true. My problem is that last academic year, my school requested for 600 students, but was given only 350. But the big schools are choked and running shift system, Form 1 in Form 2 out. Patrick Accra. All right, Patrick. Good morning, host. Sincerely, we are going to heal. I'm a young father with 2 kids living here in Hohoi, and my kids are attending GBIRC boys here in Hohoi. And trust me, the PTA are really making it hell for us. We always have to pay 40 Ghana for each child every term when we know the PTA is out. What makes me really sad is whenever they resume for a new term, even when they are already in the school, the items that we always buy in resuming for a term are just like a new student being admitted. I really don't know why there's this free school. Now, one thing about the free SHS is that most of the students don't get good food, no place to sleep, and we are really paying too much as we have to imagine. Imagine I have to school for 3 months as a term, and yet some couldn't make, not to talk of some few days, and then spend 3 months home. Wallahi, this free SHS is a big scam. All right.
And you know what? Look at his demeanor. Look at his body language before it. Look at even his dressing style. Look at the 2 police officers who came properly dressed. Yes, and look at him. You can just see that this guy is bitter. And his bitterness is stemming from the fact that we are MPP people. We have one power. You are making these people IGP. You are not making me IGP. There's something I just saw. I don't know whether it's true. That he had even retired at he retired 2019, but he stayed on up to this. He's bitter fellow. You don't go to a committee with a well-rehearsed agenda to push your grievances through.
Well, he said he doesn't like him.
He doesn't like him as what? He said he has been in the police for the past 31 years. He has never seen a mismanaging IGP like this fellow. Since when did Dampare become an IGP? Is it your 31 years that you didn't like him? Other IGPs have come in front of you. And you know this, it cuts across even public services, where disciplinarians take over institutions, they gang against him. Check it all over. That's how it is. If a headmaster goes to school and he's disciplined, he wants the teachers to be following their lessons and teach and do the right thing, they gang against him. Public officers and so on. Here is someone who is telling the Mr. President, that Mr. President, you are incompetent. You have failed as a president because you have allowed it. And he said one thing, that he knows that the IGP recorded his intelligence and the IGP recorded. Really? The IGP can record anyone in this country if the IGP feels that you and I are plotting things against the security of the state. The IGP can record the president. He can record the minister for interior. He can record the minister for, if we are planning against the will of the people, the IGP will record you. And if what they were doing was doing, the IGP, I salute him for recording him. And can you imagine if this man had become an IGP? If Cop Alex had become an IGP, even now that you are not even an IGP, 8 people died in Tichman. Ayawaso West was your brainchild. You know what? He told his intent. You know what he said? When they asked him about Ayawaso, that I am not part of those who are there. I am doing the thinking. Who should do the thinking for you? You are director of operations. You should rather do the thinking and let your thinking be implemented. In fact, the president does the thinking and then the ministers implement.
Let me bring
so that Ayawaso West was a direct case. He orchestrated it and implemented it to his satisfaction. How can an untrained policeman come and take gun, AK-47, from a trained policeman who was being supervised by a superintendent of police, Azugo, that you didn't say anything? Look at this is such a caricature.
Okay, Solomon.
Rosalind, it has been my style that when issues are at the court, commissions, or committees, since we are waiting for its outcome, no matter what you and I run about it, or the preemptions that we'll be making, it will not suffice till whatever the outcome of the committee or whatever the court or commission is going to be. But if I will say anything about such a situation, then I will speak to what has so far emanated from the committee. You know, one is the Asari. I heard him on tape saying that he was asked by the chairman of the committee that you have mentioned that you and then Asari and then Ugri were the 3 people. But there is a JB, 1 JB in it. That is where he said, that is why he's saying this tape has been doctored. Because in that conversation, at that meeting in Bugri's office, it was only the 3 of them. So he wonders how come a 3rd voice is added. As to whether it is true or not, you and I...
Well, I think they'll get to the bottom of it.
I hope you understand. That's what I'm saying. I will not be running my mouth just like that, condemning people here and there. No. Let's speak to what is coming. Let's discuss it.
But it looks like they're actually confirming some of the things that were, said in the tape. They have owned up to it, where COP Mensah has said that, yes, I did say that this man is not credible enough to be the IGP.
We thank God none of them so far has said, I didn't say this.
Yeah.
We thank God. Yes, but the thing is, there's a foreign voice in it who wasn't part of the meeting. That's what this person said. And I think we should take it like that. If you have trust in the committee working, that we should let them do their work. As and when informations come out, we take, then at least we talk around what we have heard. Not to preempt, not to, you see, if you try to be prejudgmental, it's very serious. It's very, it is inimical to our
but
security.
Is it not strange that...
Especially when we are talking about security officers.
Is it not strange that Bugri Nabu is saying otherwise? He's saying the tape is not doctored. He is not saying there's a strange voice
Whether
in there.
it is strange or not, something has happened. There has been a discussion, which of course the 3 of them, none has said otherwise. None has said that no, none is arguing. So it's true that there was a discussion between the 3. What somebody says, what somebody does not say, that is why they are the committee level. by the end of the day, we will see who is telling the truth. And whoever is found culpable, the law is there.
Right.
The law is spelled out. I wouldn't sit here to blast somebody. I wouldn't sit here to talk against somebody that is that. No, I think it's unethical for us to do it.
Okay.
I wouldn't go that angle.
Okay.
All that I can say is this is what has emanated so far from the committee's work. Speaking to it, in fact, it bothers me, it baffles me how 3 people meet for a discussion, and then when the said recording of that discussion came, there is a foreign voice
in there.
I say it baffles me. It doesn't mean I am surprised, because such things can occur by means of doctrine, as he rightly put it. So whether it is true it was doctored or not, the committee is still doing its work. We are just listening to whatever is transpiring over there. So with time, when their work is ended, we'll get to the, as you said, we'll get to the bottom of it, and we'll know who is speaking the truth
and who is lying.
Who is lying to the state.
Okay, let's
Should we
see some
use
messages.
this as a football pitch to be lamenting, to be blasting people? This is not it.
The issue is the content. I think the issue is the content, because they haven't actually debunked what they said. If they came out to say that, oh no, I never said anything like that, then you say, okay, it's been really, really doctored. They are actually saying that, you know, what you're saying is not true. But this is a case whereby they went there and they said that let's oust this man, because if he's still in post or at post, we can't break the 8. That is where the concern is. But I still have some messages coming in, and let me read the messages. Some messages coming in.
You have to be
Good morning, good morning, Prime Morning. I'm a teacher, and what Honorable is saying is very true. We live in a Ghana where leaders don't want to admit to the truth. Hypocrisy is what is killing our nation. There are a lot of things that head teachers are afraid to do, because GES, who is their employer, won't protect them when need be. So they hide behind PTA to implement such policies. But all of us know that that is the right way. If we don't stop this kind of hypocrisy, our education system will collapse gradually. Nanache Tyron from Kuforidia. Thank you so much, Nanache. What Honorable is saying is true. My word is that Nyas Tech paid 30 cedis for desk. I don't want to continue, else. Wow. Good morning, Prime. This is Sakara Hamid from Upper West Region. What Honorable is saying is the fact. My son is attending Kaleo SHS. As at now, I still owe 100 Ghana cedis as furniture fee, classroom furniture. The system has spoiled our education. Wow. And this is a lot of money, you know. 100 cedis is a lot of money. I am very, very glad that the NDC man has spoken the minds of teachers this morning. The education section has been destroyed by this government. The teachers do not have any time to rest. Go to the senior high schools and see the confusion all over. My sister, wait and see how teachers are going to vote in 2024, because GES/Minister of Education is frustrating the teachers. If you talk, the government communicators will not listen, but rather defending indefensible. I rest my case. Good morning, Rosalind and your panelists. When I was at SHS in 2012, I didn't have a bed for 2 years. No constant supply of water and good food, despite the fact that I was paying school fees. So my point is, this issue have been there for long. It is not free SHS that is causing it. So it is better the NDC stop politicizing it, so that we can find amicable solutions to these old recurring challenges at our various SHS. Abdul Karim Zugulana from okay, Zugulana from Gushegu North region. Okay. Good morning, Roslyn. Please, the change from 18 to 25th September is for the SHS1 students in double track schools. This is because Form 2 students are in school alongside the Form 3 students who are writing their final WASI. Since all 3 cohorts of students won't be able, can't be in school at the same time. Raymond from Akosombo, a teacher. Okay, but somebody
so
actually sent a message also. There was somebody who sent a message and said her child is in school.
You see some of these anomalies, you see?
No, that was a mistake, but my child is in school.
So the person has written that Form 2s are in school, you are saying it's a mistake.
No, somebody,
no. It could be typing and type the
somebody said that their child is still home and they don't know when the child goes back to
Form 2, is that not it? Yes, and the Honorable is saying it's a mistake.
What I'm saying, look,
how can this be possible? I'm home with my child in Form 2.
When I was talking about my child, you were arguing with me. Someone is talking about your child there.
Anyway,
I was paying this for my child. You sat here and concocted everything and wanted to.
All right, let's read our messages.
I didn't tell you what I'm also paying. Didn't I even tell you what I'm also paying?
Solomon and Timothy, my viewers are important. Let me read your messages. Good morning, Joy Prime. I'm hearing this for the first time about paying for beds in secondary school. I've not paid such. So if such is happening in other schools, then it must be looked at. I'm Ibrahim from Savannah region, Damongo. All right, thank you so much, Ibrahim. This government has jeopardized quality education in Ghana on the platform of scoring political points. The free SHS is not simply working and would in the near future plunge our dear nation into more faceted crisis if this free SHS policy is not reviewed. Taking into consideration the national dialogue on free SHS held by technocrats within the education sector are given the nod. They will make this policy a golden one through a proper and thorough review for the benefit of Ghanaian students. Let's ask ourselves, how is it that an education minister who oversees the education sector decides to send his own children to school outside the country? How does this build confidence in the ordinary Ghanaian? Finally, we've read your message, Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema.
You know the tape issue. You remember Attach here? In fact, I admired him on this thing. He kept warning this guy that you have to be very careful. Attach even at a point said that you don't know what I feel sitting in as a chair when Honorable Agalga was bringing the issue to link it to, was asking questions about Ayawa's West Oregon. Attach keep cautioning comments that when you do that, this tape, and no one has an incentive, that was the word to use, to doctor what we are doing here, and that fellow should know that if anything happens, he's going straight to prison. Atacha kept warning him, and you see, when truth is spoken in private, you should be ready to defend the same truth outside when it comes to public. Right. So truth runs marathon and lies run sprint. It doesn't matter where you say it. Once my brother and I gossip about you, when the guy say yes, which we will not do.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today.
You know what I'm thinking about it.
He said you don't know what he is thinking about you.
We've had a very good conversation this morning, and thank you all for sending your messages. We are super grateful. Thank you, Solomon Asante.
Bear in mind, he's thinking something about you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Solomon Asante. You represented the NPP, and Honorable Timothy Atabwade, I want him represented the NDC.